This is Mayor Dennis Donohue, and I am here today at our barber in downtown Salinas Civic Center. I've got to get that correct, and at our barber, as I said, which is really becoming a popular community gathering spot. Besides dealing with all things hair, and I'm with a very recognizable face and voice throughout the entire community, Showbiz.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Mr. Mayor? Happy to be here with you, man. You know, I'm a big fan of what you do for the city and the city of Salinas and throughout the 831, man.
Well, Salinas is a big fan of yours, and you know, one of the things that I like to talk about are all the good things in Salinas and the energy that exists throughout the community, and sometimes in even really surprising places. And you know, the way you move around the community, I suspect we'll get a chance to talk about a few of those. But before we do that, I was kind of fascinated before we started talking, just about your career and how you got here. So talk a little bit about your career and what you do.
Well, I'm from Oakland, California, East Oakland to be exact. Shout out to the town. And that made me who I am today. When I was young, like my mom worked for the military, Moffett Field, Alameda Naval Base Station, but we lived in the heart of East Oakland. Got a little hectic out there. And so, you know, we had a loving family, but it got a little hectic around, you know, it was the crack epidemic. But luckily we had the loving family and that support that kind of held us with church and everything like that. And with that, I found my love for music. And through music, to make a long story short, my love for music kind of just changed my life, kind of kept me safe, kept me in a good spot, you know, created great moods and energy for me. And so I always gravitated towards music. And music was like, I was destined to be a part of somehow music industry-ish. And so when I was young, man, like in junior high school, I would get like, you know, lunch money and save it, and then go to a music store and spend all the money that I would get from lunch money for the week, and then spend it on music. And then I took all the music I got and started DJing my junior high school dances.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, I can make money off of this, you know. And I was so young, man, 12 years old, 13 years old. And then I got, and I met my. And then someone told me about this after-school program called Youth Radio. It was out of Berkeley, California. I got into that program, and that was a big game changer too. And I'm DJing, learning journalism, and doing stuff for NPR at a young age.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, all things considered, writing social commentaries.
Wow.
15 years old, 14 years old, and you know, doing all these different, you know, KQED, doing all these different things, man, at a young age. And then from there, you know, even I had a chance to cover the Republican convention in '96, man, with Senator Bob Dole, man. They sent, I didn't know what the hell was going on, man, but I know that it was a free trip to San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the press passes, all that. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just know I had a microphone, I had an interview, you know, but I'm young. I'm like, cool, a trip to San Diego. Yeah, man, I got pictures and photos of me, like, you know, it was such a trip. I'm like, I can go somewhere and interview people and get a check. This is awesome. And yeah, man, so I was doing all that stuff. But you know, public radio was a beautiful thing. Salute to public radio. I'm glad they exist. But I was so young, I wanted to be in the club. And so I wanted to get that commercial radio. And we had an opportunity, you know, the great Javier, the X-Man, who's from Salinas, California. He's legendary out here, you know, especially in the Bay Area, but he's huge in San Diego. He came over to our after-school program and told us about, and wanted us to come to Wild 94.9, Wild 107, and along with DJ Jose Melendez, and gave us the opportunity to host a public affairs show about youth issues. Mind you, I'm still 16 years old, you know, at the time. And we're getting the opportunity to go to a major radio station in San Francisco to talk about youth issues. The biggest station. So once we got in that door, it was we in the door, you know what I'm saying? Once we got in the building, it's no turning back. because I knew like this is where we belong. And so we got in that building, man, and got hired full time, and I've been with the same company for a hell of years. And that company, wow, gave me the opportunity to come out to Salinas a long time ago, and we've been out here consecutively with the Morning Madhouse on 102.5 KDON for since 2004. A long time, man, but it's been a blast. It's been a great opportunity to be out here. Love this city, love this community from Santa Cruz, Hollister, Monterey County, but especially this city, man, from all the schools, all the community, all the hospitals, all the from Hartnell to, the list goes on and on. The Rodeo, the mayor's office, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, like, all the golf folks out here, man, it's the list, all the business owners. It's such a beautiful place, man. And this is home for me, and I love this 831, but it's good to be back home, This is home for me. And this is such a beautiful city, man.
Well, and I understand you married a local girl.
Yeah, for sure, man. And she's awesome. And yeah, she went to North High.
Yeah.
And
Viking.
Viking, and she, ran track, and she was like, one of the best track stars, of her time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and she's very prideful. Those Vikings out there, those North High Vikings. Very prideful.
Well, they have a great athletic tradition. They've produced a lot of great athletes over the years.
Yeah,
so.
But I noticed that, certain things, my son goes to Alvarez High School, so sometimes she'll be like, it took her a while to get used to to make that switch to the Eagles. But it's the same thing as if somebody was a Cowboy or going to Alisal,
Well, as the mayor, I cheer for all of them.
Oh, yeah, I know. And they're all great, man. They are. All the schools are great in our area, man, from San Juan to, they're all like just have their own thing, which is cool, man.
Yeah.
And salute to Alisal High School football field, man. That football field is amazing. And I love what all the schools are having some sort of, construction or renovation going on in all the schools. I love what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, the community has typically been pretty supportive of the schools and allowed them to be built, modernized, and and get the students ready for the future, because their future is our future.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Well, talk. One of the things. So obviously, you're on the radio, but I see you all over the community.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? I mean, understandably, you want to promote the station and this sort of thing, but you are in demand. So talk about the various places you show up and what you see about Salinas, because I think one of the things that really does make Salinas unique is really the breadth of community involvement.
Yeah, for sure. And I get that, man. Coming from the Bay Area in Oakland, we have a sense of pride and I find that pride in every community that I've ever been to, especially here in Salinas. This one, when it comes to this city in general, there's so many community groups and so many events all the time. So through social media or whatever, we reach out and we develop like some sort of family. And they're like, oh, Biz, come through here. We having this Relay for Life over here. We doing the Blue Zone group. We're doing, we're going to be riding the bikes down Alisal Street to you know what I mean? It's already so many. Are we doing this at the library? Can you come out? Or the schools will call me up and, and it's hard to say no, but we try to balance everything. I have a weakness for yes. And, but, also I'm a family man. I got kids and everything like that. But, it's something that brings me energy.
Yeah.
And so it's a part of my personal ecosystem, being around these great events that help the community, Boys and Girls Club, the local YMCA, all these, you name it, from cakewalks to Halloween parades, these are just great events, man. We need to bring back the wine festival too. That's one of my favorites. Bring back the wine festival.
Well, properly applied, that's a great phrase. I have a weakness for yes, but I like that phrase.
Yeah, I know, and you know, you want to try to do as much as you can.
Yeah.
And you know, and I can understand you as a mayor, you want to try to please everybody and try to have each other, but it's kind of hard, right? Because not everybody listens to hip hop, not everybody listens to BTS, K-pop. You know, not everybody listens to Taylor Swift, right? And so some people like Miranda Lambert. And Miranda Lambert's awesome. Some people don't. You know what I mean? It's sort of like these type of choices, right?
Well, you know, it's interesting listening to you describe that. I tell people that you know, when we went through the COVID period, and you know, I became a Netflix person, and I developed an affinity for K-dramas.
Oh, cool.
So I think that means I know who BTS is.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
but I was in a meeting the other day, and I had to have somebody explain to me who Becky G was.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of looked at me like, "What planet are you on?" And
Yeah.
like, you know.
You know what? You're not alone because. You know, but it's cool that we live in the age of the internet, that you can quickly go on Wikipedia.
Oh, I found out right away.
Oh, yeah, the OpenAI, like who's Becky. Yeah, she's awesome, man. You know the connection with Monterey Bay FC.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, for sure. And all that stuff is a big deal.
Yeah, no, I do.
So
that's where I learned about her.
Yeah. So she's heavily out here in 831. Salute to Becky G.
Yeah.
She's going to be out here hopefully for a long time.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Sebastian Legit, Monterey Bay FC.
Yeah.
But yeah, but on your end, Mr. Mayor, where do you find the cool? Because you always cool, man. Where do you find that cool at, man? That you don't see like that type of anger or emotion in your face, man. You're like, even when adversity comes, where do you find that cool at?
Well, I think at the end of the day, like you, I really thrive on the community. You know, I remember the first time I was the mayor, and there was a run-up of civic involvement before I became the mayor the first time. But you know, I was a produce guy, and I traveled a lot. I mean, in a former life, I'm a couple million-mile flyer with American Airlines, and so and I used to take my golf clubs with me because you know that was part of entertaining. So, but I never really considered that a hobby. And somebody asked me what my hobby was per se, and I really realized it was the community.
Yeah.
You know, getting involved and having the opportunity to work with people on various elements of the city. You know, I kind of cut my teeth on you know, the measure that helped save the libraries. I was involved with Second Chance in the 90s, and I just liked trying to make a contribution to the community. You know, it takes a long time, you know, when you've got systemic issues to solve a problem. But I like the challenge. I like working with people. You know, the thing I kind of found, because I never planned on being the mayor. I tell people I was kind of, it was kind of an accident.
Okay.
But it really kind of flowed from when you serve. Sometimes serving can take you to unexpected places, and so in my case, I ended up being the mayor, and partially that was because I saw my predecessor in action, former Mayor Caballero. You know how the community came together to really help save the libraries, and what was really unique and special about that is folks with all sorts of. You know, this is a very diverse community, politically, culturally, special interests, et cetera. But everyone came together around helping to save the libraries. And that was a great experience to understand that when a community works together, they can take on big things.
Yeah.
So the community was kind of my hobby. And so as the mayor, it's just really an honor to serve. I think I understand the position. How there's a really unique service component, and so that's what I enjoy about being the mayor. And so to me, that's what you keep your eye on the ball.
Hey, shout out to the Salinas libraries. If you haven't been to a Salinas public library, you are slipping, especially if you're in the city. Let me tell you something. My son Shelton lost one of his books, and I didn't know where it was. Pulled up. We tried to get another book. Guess what? Fees waived. Fees waived. Yeah. Zero fees. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Salinas Public Library.
Well, when it comes to the library, I kind of, believe me, we're not going to balance any budget on library fees. I know. Working with our residents, I'm all in favor of that. You know, in fact, this is really kind of a good opportunity, and we have to follow up on this. I was at a solid waste authority meeting last night, and Supervisor Lopez brought up, and we should, I'm going to certainly talk about it. And I think it's something that you would be interested in. So apparently Monterey County is now in the Dolly Parton literacy game, where you get free books for up until your fifth birthday.
Oh, cool.
And so Monterey County kids, it's a national program, but apparently Monterey County is getting into the game. So that idea of early literacy is pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to finding out more details about that. Yeah. And you have a great platform to help promote that.
Let's do it. You know, any chance I get, man, I tell this, you know, whoever runs the social media, tag me. I love to share whatever we can do in our stories and everything like that. And you know, it's just, you know, I love all the social contact, all the social content. Folks that are out there too, promoting the city of Salinas. Some great ones, man. Shout out to James, shout out to Salinas Fool, shout out to Salinas Chronicle. You know, everybody's doing their parts out here, man, and I love to see it, man. What's grubbing Salinas? I love what they're doing as well. They just had an amazing taco fest, and that's new. And the city just keeps on evolving. You see a door might close, but dang, another door opens up right away. You're like curious to see what's that, what construction is going on. And even like across the street from our barber, which we are at our barber, there's another building. I'm like, what's going to be there? What is that building over there?
Well, you know, it's going to be parking, but it's
the old Greyhound, right?
Right, but the upstairs is going to be an accounting firm, CLA.
Parking.
Which is we're excited about because my understanding is there's going to be approximately 70 folks there.
Yeah.
And they have clients. So they're downtown.
Yeah.
Clients come downtown. We've got restaurants downtown.
Some great ones.
We have some great shopping downtown.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about accountants is they should be the ones with the expense accounts. So hopefully they'll take their clients out to lunch and dinner. So it's really nice.
Great.
And it's actually a very major firm also.
Oh, cool.
So that's exciting to have that in downtown Salinas.
Oh, okay, from your first term or this term, you know, there's so many beautiful things that you've done for this city. What's one of your top 10 that you're like, you know, say I'm very proud of this?
Well, I think looking back, you know, there's a couple of things. You know, I tried to be pretty focused the first time and very intentional in terms of helping to contribute, because in the end the marketplace has to work. But one of the things I'm really, really proud of is that Salinas really was kind of the leading edge player of calling out the ag world and the tech world on the innovation side. Silicon Valley needed no help on innovation, and our ag community is very innovative, but I wanted to see what happens. You know, what happens when you rub the two sticks together of the freshest valley on the planet with the most innovative valley on the planet. What do you get? And today Salinas is really right in the middle of the whole ag tech world in terms of innovation. So those things take a while, but so I'm proud of that. I'm certainly, and I'm looking back, I'm very excited of the results of you know, the Community Alliance of Safety and Peace, which not everybody knows about, but it was a group where we really got together with the city's Community Safety Alliance and the Monterey County Children's Council, and with Judge Price and others, we created the Community Alliance for Safety and Peace, and the focus was on you know, the gang violence issue.
Yeah.
And we really, you know, several years down the road, you know, there's, you know, and the focus obviously was the homicide issue, and we're in a significantly better place on that as a community. You always have to keep your eye on the ball, but those two things are good examples of being intentional, and you have to be patient, and you have to understand their ups and downs, but we're in a better place today. And that's something you can point to with concrete results. Like we were talking earlier, and we have some serious things that concern the community today, like infrastructure, and which there's more to it than meets the eye. But on the other hand, streets, sidewalks, and potholes. I'd much rather have that conversation as a community than the one we were in 15 years ago.
100%.
And like you say, we were part of 13 cities, and so we spent some time with the folks in Oakland, and we understand what that issue can, the impact it can have on a community.
Straight up.
And so I think we've got some real challenges today, but I'd rather be dealing with this, still keeping our eye on the ball. But,
let me tell you, Mr. Mayor, I want to just take some time to shout out to all the school districts out here too. Alisal, Salinas Elementary School District, Salinas Union, some of the great programs out here that I wish I had when I was a kid.
Right.
After school program, all the after school program folks, it is simply amazing. As of this filming right now, this is the summertime, full summer camp for kids,
right,
free of charge from 8 to 5, with food and and everything, like great programs, soccer, all these great sports programs that this city is providing in the education system, and and it's fun. These kids are having fun doing STEM and everything like that. This is amazing, and I love to see it because I'm firsthand. My youngest kid is Shelton. He's 11 years old. He comes, man, I had so much fun at school. Arts, theater. It's
right,
so much that I see from my lens about this city and what's happening from educators on down, man. So it's such a unique place, and I'm sure that this is not the only city that has that, but I'm glad that this city has it.
Well, it's the commitment of the educational community has also been extraordinary, and it's people working together or being inspired by, okay, they're doing this, I can do that. And that type of thing, and that kind of spread. So I think that Salinas is really unique in that standpoint. Just kind of the breadth of organizations and people that are involved. The other thing that I kind of realized, when you're committed to young people, every kid's not an athlete, and so we've always had great artistic. Talent in this community,
for Colico ballet,
exactly.
Yeah.
But the other thing I realized when I was the mayor the first time, because when you move around the schools, it was there I kind of realized, boy, I better take this Big Bang show more seriously, because the level of interest in math and science of the kids that we,
robotics.
I mean, off the top of my head, both Alisal, Salinas High, great robotics programs, so and that's just spreading.
Did you see the amount of graduates we had this year?
Yeah.
Dr. Ocampo from Alvarez High School posted some stats on social media about the amount of graduates at Alvarez High School.
Right.
And I was like looking at the stats, and I was like, oh damn. It was amazing that number was so high, and then he broke down who went to a 4-year, who's going to a 2-year, who's going to a trade, which are all important.
Right.
Shout out to all my trade folks. In the land of AI, plumbing, it's so important. But I love seeing all these great stats. It puts a smile on my face. Yeah. I'm like, and then and I love going through. I love that's on my algorithm, so I can scroll through. I'm like, go ahead, Salinas. That's what I'm talking about.
Salinas is properly positioned for the future. We want to make sure. And as you were talking about, this is home, and I talked to so many people, and Ricky is a good example of, he wants to be home with an R barber.
Yeah.
I like. And it's going on throughout the city, but since we're in, in the Civic Center, the family that's doing the glass house.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Or you think of other, the food vendors. We had a chance to do La Papa, and
cool.
and his and baked potatoes and roasted corn, and there's no plan B.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I really, and in fact, sitting in your chair, the earlier episode, or the last episode we did here, young lady Barbara Robledo, and her business. So there, you really see Salinas really has a terrific small business community with a real entrepreneurial bent, and you kind of see that the next generation coming on. So I'm really excited about that.
I wanted to ask you, Mr. Mayor, when it comes to like differences, whether it's at your rotunda or anything like that, sometimes there's going to be differences regardless. Not everyone's going to see eye to eye. How do you handle when someone has a different opinion other than yours, and being the leader that you are?
Well, you understand that that's just simply part of the process. I love my wife, but we don't necessarily see eye to eye on everything.
Message.
Yeah. Well, and so so if you're in your closest relationships, you don't see eye to eye.
That's right. Yeah.
The trick is to I think respect the process, and folks, just understanding right from the get-go, people of goodwill may differ.
Yeah.
And again, what I've always tried to do is if you get kind of wobbly or confused about anything, you kind of gotta just fall back to what you think is the North Star, what's best for the community. As the mayor, that's the one position that's elected by the entire community. Mm-hmm. So as best I'm able, I try to be the mayor of all Salinas. But I remember, because I had never held office before the first time I ran for mayor, and I remember people saying, "Well, you can't please everyone."
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong.
And what year was that?
I took office the first time December of 2006.
Oh, 2006.
So 6 years, and then So I'm kind of like Rip Van Winkle this go around. There's a 12-year gap.
What were you like in junior high school and high school?
Oh, I was.
Were you quiet? Were you like class clown, or
No, I think I was probably kind of a combination of. I was interested in sports. I wasn't the best athlete. I was a better baseball player than basketball player. But I liked sports, and I loved to read. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I really got my love for libraries.
Oh yeah,
so I was one of those kids. When you could still ride your bike around town, I'd go to the library, get 6 or 7 books during the summer, and then live for baseball, because I lived right across from Hartnell. And so as a kid, baseball was, kind of my passion.
Who was your favorite baseball player?
Carl Yastrzemski, the Boston Red Sox.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew, coming from Oakland, I was, definitely Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Dave Stewart.
Well, growing up, I loved both the A's and the Giants.
Oh yeah.
And the Raiders.
You can't do that.
And
you gotta make it. You can't do that, man. You gotta make it either one or the other.
Well, the Oakland Raiders of Darryl LaMonica, Kenny Stabler. It was pretty hard not to be cheering for those guys. But I have to admit, as a young kid, I always liked John Brody and the 49ers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, 49ers. This would be a good clip right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could be this is an ongoing debate.
Well, from what I've observed moving around the community, it ain't a debate. Like you just said, You can't do that.
Yeah.
I
know.
And I'm not being political. Like, okay, who am I talking to? And, okay, got to go Raiders here, got to go 49ers here. But I am a traditionalist. They can be in Las Vegas all they want. They're the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the AT&T. It's the Crosby.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Gotcha.
Do whatever you're going to do on the corporate sponsorship. It's the Crosby.
What was your first concert?
Oh. I'm trying to remember, because I didn't go to a lot of concerts. But I did go to one at the Coliseum, and here's how memorable it was. I think it was the Moody Blues. But do you remember? It was in the Circle Star Theater.
Right.
So when I went to the University of San Francisco. So I did a lot of Circle Star. That was always a fancy date.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's nice. Oh, dang! So you were out there, man, just smooth. Did you wear a tie or you had the shirt open?
Well, no, I've never been a tie guy.
Okay.
I think gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think the last concert I went to at Circle Star was the Spinners.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nothing but hits, man.
And,
could it be I'm falling in love?
Yeah. Well, you know. And then when I did graduate school in Erie, Pennsylvania, one of my so I also ran dorms while I was doing that. So one of the students, he was a scalper. You know, he'd fly all over the country and scalp.
Yeah.
I'll be back up this weekend. So he got tickets. So I did see Springsteen in Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You're
Yeah,
a legend.
I had no real idea other than the fact this is special, and I was in Pittsburgh that weekend. So I'm like, okay.
I'm curious, man. You should release some of your, like a playlist of things that you just listen to, because I know like Obama does that and releases his playlist, and I think on a local level, it's good to get that eclectic playlist. Okay, find out some of songs that your staff might listen to, and then put it in a bowl, and hey, this is the mayor's playlist right here. That'd be kind of cool to check out.
There you go. I'll give that some thought. So
okay, now, Mr. How long do we have?
We've got a few more minutes.
Okay, so what are we gonna do to bring the wine festival back? That's what we all want to know. What are we gonna bring? That's one of my favorite events out here in Salinas. What are we gonna do?
Well, I know people who know people.
Okay.
So noted for the record, though I think this should air in time. Festa Italia, that'll be here, and that's turning out to be a great event.
Awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Anthony Lane. Yeah. And I love what he's doing. It's a great band, great event. I love how the big screens in City Center is full. But we want wine festival. Am I right?
Well, and I'll certainly support you, because on a very serious note, the wine industry is having some struggles.
Okay.
And as you know, this is a city that does a pretty good job on big events.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be the impetus for, all right, the wine festival is going to see if they can help contribute to the cause and get some things going on.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Would you ever do like a Mayor Palooza, a non-stop concert? Do you have the power to shut down as a mayor? Do you have power to shut down the streets? Can you get the permits a little bit faster?
I can't get it. No. The mayor plays by the same rules, but he does know who to go ask.
So we can easily shut down some streets and do Donohue Palooza.
There's a process.
Okay.
Yeah, but noted for the record. I'm recognizing I need to be a little more creative from time to time.
Yeah, man, let's do some events like raviolis in the rotunda. You know what I mean? Something catchy like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
muffins with the mayor.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll play around with that. Well, I'm very big on sister cities. We're really trying to intentionally and more strategically develop our relationship with Guanajuato. We have a terrific Filipino community, and we have a sister city relationship with Cebu. We actually, when I became the mayor, the last time we had a sister city relationship with Drogheda in Ireland.
Oh, cool.
And the sponsors of it were the Chinese community.
Oh, nice.
Because we brought a delegation came over from Ireland. It so happens, former Mayor Gunter and his wife, and she had a dance school in the spirit of Salinas Irish dancers. And they were so good they'd go over to Ireland and win competitions.
Oh, wow.
So we invited a group over to Ireland to Salinas when they were going through the recession, and they wanted to visit the Silicon Valley. We brought them to Salinas, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house when we brought in the spirit of Irish dancers to welcome them, and took them totally by surprise. But they had a great visit, and I took them to visit the Chinese community. And there was a gentleman who's since passed away, Tom O'Wan, and the mayor of Drogheda who was one of the youngest mayors in in Ireland. Those two hit it off, and so they ended up sponsoring Drogheda as the sister city, and the little corner in front of the Chinese hall. We renamed a Wang Wei.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
that's
awesome. These, but you know, this is a city more so than people realize. You know, if you look at the ag industry, I mean, we're a series of global traders.
Yeah.
So, and you know, if there's going to be an Ellis Island on the West Coast, you know, Salinas and Monterey County would be in the mix.
You know, I would love to see more eclectic businesses out here from all over. That would be cool. With more diverse businesses from all over the globe to headquarter here in Salinas.
Yeah.
You know what that means? That means more diverse folks and more diverse restaurants.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you pull up to, you know, a certain city, you're like, what kind of restaurant is that? Oh, this is that. You know, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted. We have some amazing restaurants here in Salinas. And one thing that I was by a major city. I'm not going to name the city. On a major street of the city. And like about to go on a on-ramp on the freeway. And before you did that, you saw weeds protruding through the sidewalks of this major city. And I was like, oh my God, this is a city that probably generates millions of dollars a year. And you just see just weeds on the sidewalk. You don't see that in Salinas. Shout out to Public Works, because they're doing a fantastic job. And the city is nice and clean. Of course, everybody has potholes, I get that. But you know, I like to have the sidewalks like just look like sidewalks, you know? It's just certain things like that I just noticed. And so, oh man, I can't wait to get back to the city of Salinas and just really drive around, and there's always something that you can find beautiful about this city. Every single day. Yeah. Every time you exit Baranda and enter the city in whatever way you enter, you'll find something different if you really look hard enough.
Well, let's kind of finish with that. You know, I liked when we were talking earlier that as you move around the city, and you do, that there are places of surprising energy.
Yeah.
You know, just like you know, if you were to walk past the barbershop, you wouldn't necessarily think anything other. Oh, that's a barbershop. But then the doors open, and you see all the people
laughing
and community.
Yeah.
But you know, you mentioned you could see that same sort of thing in surprising businesses, whether it's a tire shop or.
Oh no, you know, I do oil, you know, whatever, you know, you're just dropping off things at a cleaner, or going to like the Filipino restaurant over there by Straw Hat off of Laurel, by the DMV. You know, you just see personality and you see joy in a lot of people. You know, there was a business off of Market Street. I went to go get an oil change, and I had literally the best time kicking back, just talking to people. And you know, people were kind of like ragging on each other, joking and stuff. But it was a good time, man. You just felt that positive energy, and I'm like, go ahead. This is what makes this city so unique and so awesome. And yeah, man, you know, I find things every single day that I genuinely love about the city. And I find some things that, you know, you may not agree with from time to time, but that's neither here nor there. Why isn't the lights on right now? You know, it's like something silly like that. And you know, they were like, you know, but regardless, around the city, there's so many things that you just gotta really, really open your eyes and look in the beauty of the city. Even driving through Constitution and how gorgeous certain these streets are, these back roads. I bet you there's a lot of people that don't even know about these beautiful trails that we have. Like behind Steinbeck, you know, by Twin Creeks Golf Course. There's so many beautiful trails in the city that you have to explore and see, biking, walking, and yeah. And I think that the South Side should start going around the North Side, and the North Side Salinas should start looking at the beauty of the South Side. So many beautiful homes and architectural marvels. You know, when I go around, you know, by Salinas Valley Hospital, that area, you know, I've seen some. I was like, oh man, this home is like, I don't know, I'm thinking of the 1920s, but it's gorgeous. You know, and so that's why I love to see new things all the time. And I hear people that lived here their whole life. Oh, I never knew this place existed.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
You know, and I never knew about this place right here.
Right.
Explore your city no matter what city you're at. Right now we're in Salinas, California, but it's very important if you live here, especially if you lived here your whole life and you're saying like, I didn't know this place existed, that's your bad. Yeah, okay? Explore your city, love your city, embrace your city, be involved and do something for your city. You know, whether it's, you know, making sure you know, take a break before that kid is crossing the street, you know, be mindful of that. And, you know, oh, also, when them yellow buses pull up and when that red light hits, please stop, okay? Please, okay? That means when that red light hits, that means you got to stay behind the yellow bus. Stop, please. All right?
Well, this is National Safety Month,
okay.
so glad you're pointing that out. You know, I think if I could kind of summarize up our conversation a little bit, and again with the proper guardrails, it sounds like we should all develop a weakness for yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got you. That's a beautiful thing, man. And you know, and I'm glad you're in the position that you are, man. I know you have to deal with a lot of stuff, man, but you are doing the best you can, and I think they're doing an outstanding job from my lenses. And you know, shout out to everybody that's behind the scenes and your staff, and you know, and you guys are all working with each other, man. From law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, to hospitals. It's a long list of things going through your mind, you know, and props. You know, I couldn't do it.
Well, trust me when I tell you, I couldn't do what you do, but all of Salinas is grateful that you do it. So we appreciate you taking some time today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Always good to see you. And I'll look. What's the next big event I should be looking for you?
You know, we have our company has a big festival in Las Vegas called the iHeart Music Festival. Okay. And this year we have BTS, Snoop Dogg, with a lot of other folks, and it's going to be like a huge event, an incredible lineup. And so I'm very excited about that. But on the local level, stay tuned because we're always having something here on a local level. And you can always find out what events we're having through our website and our social media. Go to kanon.com and check out on the promotions page. We have a list of all these great events that we have in Salinas and throughout the 831 and throughout Northern California and beyond. Yep.
Sounds good. You know, given my K-drama fetish, any way you can help us get BTS to Salinas?
That'd be huge, man. You know,
that'd be huge. The Rodeo grounds.
Oh yeah, that definitely can hold them, man. And I you know what? They love doing things in America, so you never know. And where, you know. Anyway, I think it could happen.
Okay.
You know, they already got BTS Oreo cookies in our Salinas grocery stores. So.
Well, you work on BTS and I'll work on the wine festival.
Okay, perfect. All right. Fair enough, man.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, man. Mr. Mayor, man.
Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you.
For sure.